So first we have the Reserve Bank of India. It is the bankers bank. It is the apex bank in the India. So let us see the origin, functions and role of RBI in agriculture development and finance. RBI was established in 1935 under the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 and its headquarters is at Mumbai. So it was established in 1935 whereas its act was in 1934. Now objective of RBI was to regulate the issues of banknotes. जो भी banknotes issue होते हैं उसे regulate करना, secure monetary stability in the country and operate currency and credit system to its advantage. So these were the reasons why RBI was set up. The role of RBI in agriculture credit was found in the establishment of agriculture credit department. RBI का रोल इंक्रीज हुआ एग्रीकल्चर में, वो कब पता चला? जब एस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट डिपार्टमेंट, दैट इज ACD. Now agriculture credit department has two functions. First, so it has three functions. First, to coordinate the functions of RBI with other banks and state cooperatives इन रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट. जो भी अदर कमर्शियल बैंक्स है या कोऑपरेटिव्स है उनके साथ कोऑर्डिनेट करके जो भी एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट के मामले डिसीजंस हो या क्रेडिट अवेलेबिलिटी हो, वो सारे फंक्शंस को कोऑर्डिनेट करना. देन टू मेंटेन एक्सपर्ट स्टाफ टू स्टडी ऑल क्वेश्चंस ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट and be available for the consultation by central government, state government, scheduled commercial bank and state cooperative bank. हमेशा उनके पास एक एक्सपर्ट स्टाफ कमेटी रहेगी जो एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट के बारे में जो भी क्वेश्चंस है वो सॉल्व करेगी और गवर्नमेंट को जब भी कंसल्टेशन चाहिए, कोई एडवाइस चाहिए तो वो हेल्प करे, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट या फिर कमर्शियल एंड स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव्स को. To provide legislation to check private money lending and checking the other malpractices. वो legislations rules भी बनाते हैं जिससे प्राइवेट मनी लेंडिंग और जो माल प्रैक्टिसेस हो रही है एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट में तो वो सारे कम हो सके, इसलिए वो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस भी बनाते हैं ACD. Now all India Rural Credit Survey Committee under the chairmanship of Shri Gorwala in 1954 has suggested several recommendations with regard to activities of RBI in the sphere of rural credit. ऑल इंडिया रूरल क्रेडिट सर्वे कमेटी जो है उन्होंने बहुत सारे recommendations दिए with the respect to rural credit. Based on these recommendations, two funds were established after amending the RBI Act 1934. इनके recommendation, ऑल इंडिया रूरल क्रेडिट सर्वे कमेटी के recommendation के ऊपर RBI Act 1934 में अमेंडमेंट किया गया और दो फंड्स को एस्टेब्लिश किया. तो फर्स्ट फंड उसमें क्या है? नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट लॉन्ग टर्म ऑपरेशन फंड विच वाज स्टार्टेड इन 1955. Now it was started with initial capital of 10 crores and annual contribution of 5 crores and later it was increased to 15 crores. Now इसमें क्या होता है? The fund is meant to provide long term loans as the name suggests, long term operation. It provides fund to long-term loans to various state governments so as to enable them to contribute to share capital of different types of cooperative societies including land mortgage banks. ये लॉन्ग टर्म लोन स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को देता है जिससे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट हर एक कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज में शेयर कैपिटल में कंट्रीब्यूट करे. Now the loans and advance of this fund are made to state government for period not exceeding 20 years. जो भी लोन पीरियड है वो 20 ईयर्स से ज्यादा नहीं होता और ये लोन स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को दिया जाता है. सेकेंड फंड वाज नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट स्टेबलाइजेशन फंड विच वाज एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन 1956. Now it was started with the initial contribution of 1 crore and subsequently annual contribution of 1 crore. This fund is utilized for the purpose of granting medium-term loans to state cooperative banks, especially during the times of famines, droughts and other natural calamities. ये लोन जो है मीडियम टर्म लोन स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स जो स्टेट लेवल पे अपेक्स की तरह काम करते हैं उन्हें लोन में दिया जाता है मीडियम टर्म लोन से, स्पेशली ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ नेचुरल कैलेमिटीज लाइक फेमाइन, ड्रॉट्स, फ्लड. Now state and central cooperative banks and PSEs in turn provide a similar facility to the farmer borrowers. अगर स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक के पास पैसा है तो वो सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव को देगा और सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव PSEs को देगा जिससे फार्मर्स को सिमिलर टाइप का लोन दिया जाता है. रिगार्डिंग शॉर्ट टर्म प्रोडक्शन लोन्स टेकन फॉर द क्रॉप्स अफेक्टेड बाय द नेचुरल कैलेमिटीज. This help farmer in getting the additional finance at the same time reducing their burden for repayment of loans immediately. So these are the two funds which were established by RBI. Then the functions of RBI in the sphere of rural credit. With respect to rural credit, three aspects में divided है. Provision of finance, promotional activities and regulatory function. Provision of finance मतलब Reserve Bank of RBI provides necessary finances needed by the farmers through commercial banks, cooperative banks and RRB on refinance basis. Refinance मतलब बैंक्स को फाइनेंस करना, उसे हम रीफाइनेंस कहते हैं. और आरबीआई क्या करता है, जो भी फंड्स नेसेसरी है एग्रीकल्चर के लिए थ्रू कमर्शियल बैंक, कोऑपरेटिव्स और आरआरबी के द्वारा फार्मर्स तक फाइनेंस, इट फॉर्म्स अ लिंक एंड वहां पे रीफाइनेंस होता है. आरबीआई बैंक्स को देती है, बैंक फार्मर को देता है. It advances long-term loans to state government for their contribution to share capital to cooperative credit institutions like state cooperative banks, district cooperative, central banks. जो भी state government को cooperative banks के share capital में contribute करने के लिए RBI long-term loan provide करते हैं. It also advances medium-term loans to cooperative banks. They extend refinance facility to RRBs only to the extent of 50% of outstanding advances. RRB को भी वो refinance facility provide करते हैं. So this is the provision of finance. Second is the promotional activity. Now RBI constitutes a study team to look into organization and operation of cooperative credit institution all over the country. It also conducts number of surveys and studies pertaining to rural credit aspects in the country. Reserve Bank of India हर एक रेगुलर टाइम पे स्टडी टीम्स को फॉर्म करते हैं, जैसे ऑल इंडिया रूरल क्रेडिट सर्वे कमेटी हो गया, ऑल इंडिया रूरल क्रेडिट रिव्यू कमेटी हो गया. ऐसे टाइम टू टाइम्स कमेटी फॉर्म करते हैं जिससे कोऑपरेटिव क्रेडिट या रूरल क्रेडिट में क्या कंडीशन है, क्या सिचुएशन है, क्या करना चाहिए, वो स्टडी करने के लिए वो स्टडी टीम कंस्टिट्यूट करती है. Now RBI felt that cooperatives are the major force in the field of agriculture credit and hence they have framed the some measures to strengthen the cooperatives. In that, first is the reorganization of state and central cooperative banks on the principle of one apex bank for each state and one central bank for each district. जो भी वो reorganization किया, 3 tier structure बनाया उन्होंने क्रेडिट में. So this is the reorganization. Then rehabilitation of those central cooperative banks which are financially weak. जो भी सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स फाइनेंशियली वीक थे उन्हें रिहेबिलेट किया, मतलब वहां पे उन्हें फाइनेंशियली स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाए. वो फाइनेंशियली वीक थे तो उन्हें फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाए. स्ट्रेंथनिंग ऑफ पीएससीएस टू एंश्योर देयर फाइनेंशियल एंड ऑपरेशनल वायबिलिटी. अरेंजिंग सुटेबल ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स फॉर पर्सनल ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव institutions. So these were the measures taken by RBI for strengthening the cooperative. Next we have the regulatory functions. Now RBI is concerned with the efficiency of channel through which credit is distributed. ना क्रेडिट तो अवेलेबल करके दे दी आरबीआई, लेकिन वो क्रेडिट फार्मर्स तक कैसे पहुंचता है वो उसके लिए भी कंसर्न आरबीआई कंसर्न है. So Banking Regulation Act 1996 makes RBI to exercise effective supervision over cooperative banks and commercial banks. Due to Banking Regulation Act of 1966 उसके द्वारा RBI एक रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस बनाते हैं जिससे वो एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट सिस्टम जो है वो सुपरवाइज करे थ्रू बाय सुपरवाइजिंग कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स एंड कमर्शियल बैंक. Now, as per Credit Authorized Scheme of 1976, cooperative banks should get prior authorization from RBI for providing finances beyond certain limit. अगर certain limit के ऊपर अगर फाइनेंस करना है कोऑपरेटिव्स को तो पहले उनको आरबीआई का परमिशन लेना पड़ता है. Then cash liquid ratio, that is CLR, and cash reserve ratio, that is CRR. It is fixed by RBI for cooperatives, farmer service societies, regional rural bank and agriculture development banks at lower level than those are fixed for commercial banks. Commercial bank के जो CLR है, SSR है, वो थोड़े cooperatives के अगर कंपेयर करें तो थोड़ा हाई होता है. Then for this cooperative bank rate was 3% less than that of commercial bank. बैंक रेट जो आरबीआई चार्ज करती है वो कोऑपरेटिव बैंक को 3% लेस देन द कमर्शियल बैंक रहता है. एंड ऑल्सो आरबीआई परमिट्स टू पे 0.5% हायर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट ऑन द deposit. So these are the regulatory functions. Now credit control and credit squeeze. This is the one more function the RBI performs to control the inflation and deflation in the economy. Now the term credit control or credit squeeze indicates the regulation of by the monetary authority, that is RBI, on the volume and direction of the credit. यहाँ पे वॉल्यूम मतलब कितना पैसा और किस डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है वो कंट्रोल करने के लिए क्रेडिट कंट्रोल या क्रेडिट स्क्वीज का इस्तेमाल आरबीआई करती है. So at the times of inflation, credit control operation aims in contraction of credit. इन्फ्लेशन में क्या होता है, टू मच मनी चेजिंग टू फ्यू गुड्स. तो मनी बहुत होता है तो उस कॉन्ट्रैक्शन ऑफ क्रेडिट करने की जरूरत होती है, इसलिए क्रेडिट कंट्रोल करके इन्फ्लेशन के वक्त आरबीआई क्रेडिट कंट्रोल करता है. लेकिन ड्यूरिंग डिफ्लेशन एम इज टू एक्सपांड द मनी. सो उस वक्त क्रेडिट अवेबिलिटी एक्सपांड करते हैं आरबीआई, दैट इज द क्रेडिट स्क्वीज. Now there are two methods of credit control. One is quantitative or general credit control and another is qualitative, that is selective credit control. Quantitative में क्या होता है, regulating the amount of bank advances, that is to make banks to lend more or less. कितना लोन एक बैंक दे सकती है ये फिक्स करते हैं, that is the quantitative or general credit control. क्वालिटेटिव और सिलेक्टिव क्रेडिट कंट्रोल में क्या होता है, इट एम्स इन डाइवर्टिंग द बैंक एडवांसेस इनटू सर्टेन चैनल्स और डिस्करेज देम फॉर लेंडिंग सर्टेन पर्पसेस. इन्फ्लेशन के वक्त उन्हें लोन देने के लिए अवॉइड करने के लिए कहते हैं और डिफ्लेशन के वक्त लोन देने के लिए बोलते हैं, जिससे क्रेडिट जो है इकोनॉमी वो हाई और लेस कर सकते. दिस कंट्रोल इन रिसेंट टाइम्स हैव अज्यूम्ड स्पेशल सिग्निफिकेंस स्पेशली अंडर द डेवलप्ड इकोनॉमीज. Now next is the credit rationing. This is nothing but rationing of loans by non-price means at the times of excess demand for the credit. Under variable capital asset ratio, RBI fixes the ratio of capital to assets of commercial banks. So this is the credit ratio. Next, we apex level higher agency, financing agency is NABARD. That is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Now let us see how the NABARD was, the origin of NABARD or how the NABARD was established. Now Agriculture Refinance and Development Corporation, this is ARDC, it has not made the expected level of achievement in financing and delivering of rural credit और rural development में expected जो performance थी ARDC की उतनी performance उन्होंने achieve नहीं की. So as a result बहुत सारे committees या commissions constitute किए गए for studying the what are the effective ways we can bring to improve the rural credit. So Banking Commission in 1972, National Commission on Agriculture in 1976 and Committee to Review Arrangement for Institutional Credit in Agriculture and Rural Development, that is CRAFICAD, in 1979. So these were the different commissions and committees which were established during the period when the failure of ARDC. Now the CRAFICAD under the chairmanship of B. Shivaraman. Shivaraman is the chairman of CRAFICAD committee. He was the former member of Planning Commission. He recommended the setting up of national level institution called as NABARD for providing all types of production in investment credit for agriculture and rural development. जो भी एग्रीकल्चर के लिए लोन्स चाहिए, ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इन्वेस्टमेंट लोन जो एग्रीकल्चर एंड रूरल डेवलपमेंट चाहिए, उससे सारे लोन उसको सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए एक एपेक्स लेवल नेशनल लेवल इंस्टीट्यूशन NABARD को एस्टेब्लिश किया, ऐसे CRAFICAD ने रेकमेंड किया. एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस NABARD came into existence on July 12, 1982. On July 12, 1982, NABARD was established. Now, for establishment of NABARD, the existing national level institutions like Agriculture Refinance and Development Corporation, that is ARDC, Agriculture Credit Department ACD, and Rural Planning and Credit Cell, that is RPCC, of RBI were merged with the NABARD. These three institutions were merged to form the new institution, that is NABARD. With a share capital of rupees 500 crore equally contributed by Government of India and RBI. In this share capital, there was 500 crore share capital which was equally contributed by Government of India and RBI. Now NABARD operates through head office at Mumbai. NABARD का भी head office मुंबई में है और 17 regional offices है, one in each major states, and 10 sub offices in smaller states and union territories, and 213 district offices. So this is the management or branches of NABARD. Now board of management में क्या होता है, central government is the consultant with the RBI appointments all directors in the board of management along with the chairman and managing director. RBI appoint करते हैं सारे board of management को. Now, MD is the Chief Executive Officer of NABARD and he is primarily responsible for various operations of the bank. Apart from MD and Chairman, Board of Management consists of 13 directors and these directors act as the advisory council. Now, उस 13 directors में कौन कौन आता है? 2 are experts in rural economies and rural development. 3 are the representative of cooperatives. 3 are the representative of commercial banks. 3 members are the officials of government of India and 2 members belongs to state government. So this is the 13 directors of advisory council. Next we will see about the source of fund. Now NABARD, we have seen the share capital is 500 crore equally contributed by both the government of India and RBI. Now other sources are borrowing from the government of India and any institution approved by government of India, borrowing from RBI, deposit from state government and local authorities, and gifts and grants received. So these are the source of finance for the NABARD. Then NABARD was established with the several objectives. First was as an अपेक्स रीफाइनेंसिंग इंस्टीट्यूशन. ये अपेक्स रीफाइनेंसिंग इंस्टीट्यूशन है. रीफाइनेंसिंग मतलब बैंक्स को लोन प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं और वो बैंक फार्मर्स को प्रोवाइड है. NABARD survey and estimates all type of credit needed to farm sector and rural development. Take responsibility of promoting and integrating rural development activities through refinance. जो भी रूरल में इंटीग्रेटिंग प्रमोशन एंड इंटीग्रेटिंग रूरल डेवलपमेंट के लिए जो एक्टिविटीज है वो सारे NABARD देखते हैं. With the approval of Government of India, NABARD also provides direct credit to any institution or organization or even individual, and maintaining close link with the RBI for guidance and assistance in financial matters. So with these objectives, the NABARD was established. Next, we have the functions of NABARD. Now, the functions are broadly classified as credit activities, development activities, and regulatory activities. Credit required activities में क्या होता है? NABARD for each district it prepares a potentially linked credit plan annually, and this forms the basis of district credit plan. हर एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट के लिए एक लिंक्ड क्रेडिट प्लान, पोटेंशियल लिंक्ड मतलब कितना क्रेडिट अवेलेबल क्रेडिट चाहिए होता है एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट के लिए, वो कैलकुलेट किया जाता है on the basis of which district credit plan is formed. Now it participate in finalization of annual action plan at block, district and state level. ब्लॉक लेवल या स्टेट डिस्ट्रिक्ट या स्टेट लेवल पे जो भी क्रेडिट एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट एंड रूरल डेवलपमेंट के लिए एक्शन प्लान बनाया जाता है उसमें वो पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं. Monitors the implementation of credit plan. It frames the terms and conditions to be followed by credit institution in financing रूरल फार्म एंड नॉन फार्म सेक्टर्स. जो भी रूरल में एग्रीकल्चर लोन से रूरल डेवलपमेंट के लिए जो लोन देते हैं वो सारे टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन जो है वो NABARD फिक्स करेगी. इट प्रोवाइड्स द रीफाइनेंस फैसिलिटी. सो दीज आर द क्रेडिट एक्टिविटीज ऑफ NABARD. Next we have refinances of two types. Now credit, we have seen that NABARD is involved in refinancing, and refinancing is of two types: short term refinance and medium term and long term refinance. Short term refinance is extended for agriculture production operation and marketing of crops by farmers and farmer cooperatives, and production and marketing activities of village and cottage industries. जो भी स्मॉल कोऑपरेटिव्स है फार्मर्स के लिए प्रोडक्शन मार्केटिंग के लिए जो लोन चाहिए, विलेज कॉटेज इंडस्ट्री को लोन चाहिए, वो सारे शॉर्ट टर्म रिफाइनेंस से आते हैं. Now eligible institution for short term refinance are state cooperative banks, regional rural bank, commercial bank and other banks approved by RBI. The time period is 12 months. शॉर्ट टर्म इंडिकेट किया है तो 12 मंथ्स में पे बैक करना पड़ता है. Medium term and long term refinance is extended for investment in agriculture and allied activities such as minor irrigation, farm mechanization, dairy. तो उसमें एग्रीकल्चर में इन्वेस्टमेंट जब होते हैं तो मीडियम टर्म एंड लॉन्ग टर्म रिफाइनेंस NABARD प्रोवाइड करती है. Now the period is up to maximum 15 years. Period of repayment is maximum 15 years for medium and long term loans, and whereas in short term loans it is 12 months. The eligible institutions are land development banks. Now the extent of refinance for various schemes, it varies from scheme to scheme. For example, pilot rainfed farming 100% is contributed by NABARD. Wasteland development 100% by NABARD. Non-farm sector schemes 100% by NABARD. Agro processing 75% is by NABARD. Then biogas scheme 75%. Farm mechanization 50%. Rural electrification 50%. Apart from refinance, NABARD also provide direct finance to state government and state sponsored corporation. Now, NABARD will monitor its assisted projects in order to ensure their proper implementation. It is also undertake consultancy work for projects even though they are not refinanced by the NABARD. Next, we have the development activities. Now, under development activities, NABARD we have carried institutional development. उसमें क्या होता है? Providing financial assistance for establishment and development of institutional financial agencies. जो न्यू फाइनेंशियल एजेंसीज एस्टेब्लिश होने वाले या डेवलप होने हैं उनके लिए वो फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस प्रोवाइड करते हैं। रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट फंड प्रोवाइडिंग फंड्स फॉर रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट एफर्ट्स फॉर इंस्टीट्यूशनल फाइनेंशियल एजेंसीज। Now, agriculture and rural enterprise incubation fund for providing assistance while inception of new enterprise. New enterprise start करने वाले हैं तो उन्हीं के लिए भी fund available करके देती है। And rural promotion corpus fund, that is RPCF. It is meant to provide financial assistance for training cum production centers, rural entrepreneurship development program, and technical monitoring and evaluation centers. So these are the development activities. Now, credit and financial service fund, another fund by NABARD. It aims in providing the assistance for innovations in rural banks and credit system, supports the institution for research activities, surveys and meets. जो भी रिसर्च एक्टिविटीज NABARD करने के लिए एम करता है तो वो क्रेडिट एंड फाइनेंशियल सर्विस फंड उससे आता है। लिंकिंग सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप टू क्रेडिट इंस्टीट्यूशन। ड्यूरिंग द ईयर 1992 NABARD started pilot project of linking self help group to the credit institution. Under this, it provides 100% refinance to the banks for loan extended to the self-help groups. Next, we have the regulatory activities. Regulatory activities में क्या आता है? Under the banking regulation of 1949, NABARD undertake the inspection of RRBs and cooperative banks. उसमें other than PSS जो भी banks है वो सारे RBI inspection कर सकते हैं NABARD. Any RRB or cooperative bank seeking permission of RBI for opening branches नीड्स रिकमेंडेशन ऑफ NABARD। अगर उन्हें आरआरबी या कोऑपरेटिव बैंक को परमिशन चाहिए न्यू ब्रांचेस खोलने की तो उसके आरबीआई से परमिशन से पहले NABARD की रिकमेंडेशन लगती है। स्टेट एंड डिस्ट्रिक्ट सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव बैंक आल्सो नीड एन ऑथराइजेशन फ्रॉम NABARD फॉर एक्सटेंडिंग द असिस्टेंस टू यूनिट्स outside the cooperative sector and non-credit cooperatives for certain purpose beyond the cut-off limit. So these are the regulatory activities. Next, we have the Agriculture Finance Corporation. Now, it was formerly known as Agriculture Finance Corporation Limited. Now, it is AFC India Limited. It is a multidisciplinary cross-functional development organization providing consultancy, advisory, and implementation support for agriculture, rural development, and other strategic socio-economic sectors in इंडिया। जो भी ये मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी एजेंसी है जहाँ पे वो कंसल्टेंसी पे भी प्रोवाइड करते हैं, एडवाइजरी कमेटी भी है और जो भी एग्रीकल्चर रूरल डेवलपमेंट रिलेटेड जो भी स्कीम्स आते हैं वो ये इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए हेल्प करते हैं। इट वाज एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन ईयर 1968 एंड इट वाज ओन्ड बाय कमर्शियल बैंक, NABARD एंड एक्सिम बैंक। Now, AFC is deemed government company under the section 139 and 139 139(5) and 139(7) of Companies Act 2013, and its accounts are audited by Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Now, AFC is also accredited to ISO. Now, in its 5 decades of operation, AFC has accomplished more than 6,000 consulting assignments of diverse nature to clients ranging from Government of India, state government, NABARD, commercial banks, cooperatives, NGOs, and AFC also is endowed with the privilege of having worked in almost all sectors and thematic areas associated with the focal sectors, that is agriculture, rural development, socio-economic development, as it is a multidisciplinary agency, so it is involved in almost all the subsectors for development activities. The AFC has core competence in providing wide range of services such as identification of potential projects for promoting development in different, conducting pre-feasibility or scoping studies. So it conducts the necessary impact assessment, needs assessment, जो भी schemes लाने के लिए जो भी initial study करना पड़ता है वो सारे AFC करता है. Now over the years, AFC has diverged into large-scale grassroots level project implementation in areas such as organic farming, जो भी ग्रास रूट लेवल पे अगर किसी को प्रोजेक्ट इंप्लीमेंट करना है तो वो AFC के द्वारा ही इंप्लीमेंट करता है ना। AFC is now serving as entire value chain of agriculture and rural development, from policy advocacy to policy implication and management, training and capacity building to skill development in rural areas and semi-urban areas. Next, you have the World Bank. This is the International Higher Financing Agency. Now, the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, that is IBRD, it is also known as World Bank, was established in the year 1945 and it started its operation in 1946. It is the sister institution of another international financing agency, that is International Monetary Fund. इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड और वर्ल्ड बैंक वो सिस्टर एजेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस है, वो सेम काम करते हैं और सेम मोटो पे एस्टेब्लिश किया है ना। वर्ल्ड बैंक्स मेन एम इज टू रिड्यूस पॉवर्टी बाय प्रमोटिंग सस्टेनेबल इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट इन द मेंबर्स कंट्री। वर्ल्ड बैंक के जो सारे मेंबर्स है उसमें सस्टेनेबल इकोनॉमिक डेवलप करके पॉवर्टी को रिड्यूस करना, ये उसका मेन एम है। It attains this goal by providing loans and technical assistance for project programs in developing member countries. जो भी उनके countries है तो उसकी उनमें projects different programs उनके लिए loans provide करना, technical assistance provide करना, इसके द्वारा वो अपना aim को fulfill करते हैं। Now financial strength of IBRD is based on the support it receives from its shareholder and financial policies and practices adopted by it. जो भी शेयर सपोर्ट IBRD को मिलता है तो इट इज फ्रॉम द शेयर होल्डर्स एंड फाइनेंशियल पॉलिसीज। द मेन एक्टिविटी ऑफ वर्ल्ड बैंक इज टू प्रोवाइड लोन्स टू द मेंबर कंट्रीज। नाउ डिफरेंट फंक्शंस ऑफ वर्ल्ड बैंक। फर्स्ट इज द डेवलपमेंट एक्टिविटीज। जो भी मेंबर कंट्री में डेवलपमेंट एक्टिविटीज के लिए उन्हें लोन चाहिए होता है तो वो प्रोवाइड करते हैं। दैट इज प्रोवाइडिंग लोन्स फॉर ईच लोन मस्ट बी अप्रूव्ड बाय RBI एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर्स। जो भी लोन मेंबर लोन को लोन्स चाहिए इन केसेस ऑफ सम नेचुरल कैलेमिटीज इन दोज कंट्री और सम फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस, तो उस वक्त लोन IBRD या वर्ल्ड बैंक डिफरेंट कंट्रीज को लोन प्रोवाइड करते। नेक्स्ट इज द कंसल्टेंसी। कंसल्टेंसी है अगर कोई टेक्निकल असिस्टेंस किसी का मेंबर कंट्री को चाहिए, ये इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ वेदर लोन इज टेकन, उस कंट्री ने लोन लिया है या नहीं, लेकिन उन्हें कोई कंसल्टेंसी चाहिए किसी न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी अडॉप्ट करने के लिए, उन्हें थोड़े एडवाइस चाहिए तो वो कंसल्टेंसी भी प्रोवाइड करते। रिसर्च एंड ट्रेनिंग फॉर असिस्टिंग मेंबर कंट्री, वर्ल्ड बैंक ऑफर द कोर्सेज एंड ट्रेनिंग रिलेटेड टू इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी डेवलपमेंट, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, तो उसके लिए वो रिसर्च एंड ट्रेनिंग की फैसिलिटीज भी। ट्रस्ट फंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, IBRD itself or jointly with the International Development Agency on behalf of donors restrict the use of funds for specific purpose only। यहाँ पे specific purpose के लिए ही loans utilize करना चाहिए और इसे हम trust fund administration कहते हैं। The funds so obtained are not included in the list of asset owned by IBRD। Now investment management, it provides investment management services for external institutions by charging fees. The funds thus obtained are not included in the assets of IBRD. So for IBRD there are three different agencies which are affiliated. One is the International Development Association, that is IDA, International Finance Corporation IFC, and Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, that is MIGA. So these are the three affiliated organizations through IBRD. Now IDA, it was established, that is International Development Association was established in 1960 and their main goal, उनका main goal क्या है, poverty alleviation, to reduce the poverty by promoting the economic development in less developed areas. Now IDA is the part of World Bank that helps the world's poorest country. Now IBRD and IDA share the same staff, उनका staff same है, headquarters same है और evaluate the projects with same rigorous standard. Now IDA is the one of the largest source of assistance for world's 79 poorest countries. जो world के poorest country है उनके लिए वो assist करते हैं। It also lends money on the concessional terms. This means IDA credits have no interest charge and repayments are stretched over 35 to 40 years, including 10 years grace period. Now IDA also provides grant to the country at risk of debt distress. जो कंट्रीज लोन रीपे नहीं कर सकती उनके लिए वो ग्रांट्स प्रोवाइड करती हैं। नेक्स्ट इज द इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंस कॉर्पोरेशन, दैट इज IFC. It was established in 1955. Its main aim is to encourage the growth of productive private enterprise in the member countries by providing loan and investment without the members' guarantee. And next is the MIGA, that is Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. It aims to encourage the flow of investment from productive purpose among the member countries, particularly in the developing countries. Now, IBRD, IDA, IFC and MIGA are collective called as World Bank Group. ये collectively चार institutions को क्या कहते हैं? World Bank Group. And each of them is financially independent with separate assets and liabilities. Next, we have the International Monetary Fund. At present, 190 countries are the members of International Monetary Funds, and its headquarters is at Washington, D.C. and it was established in December 1945. The functions of International Monetary Fund does the number of supervisory work relating to financial dealings between different countries. Some of the works are done, some of the works which IMF performs, that is, first is that it is the supervisory agency. Now various functions are helping international trade, that is business between two countries, looking after exchange rate, looking after balance of payment, helping member countries in economic development. So these are the different works that IMF does. Now management of IMF, it is done by the board of directors who manages the IMF. One tradition has governed the selection of two most senior posts of IMF, that is managing director, it is always from European, and IMF president is always from United States of America. The major countries of Europe and America control the IMF. This is because they have given more money, they have contributed more money in IMF and IMF by first subscription, and so have larger share of voting rights. So always MD is from European countries and IMF president is from the United States of America. Next, we have the Asian Development Bank. It is the regional development bank which was established in 1966 to promote economic and social development in Asia and Pacific countries by providing loans and technical assistance. Asia और Pacific countries में loan provide या technical assistance provide करना to promote the economic and social development was the aim of Asian Development Bank. Its headquarters is at Manila, that is Philippines, and multilateral financing institution owned by 67 members with 48 members from region of Asia Pacific and 19 from other parts of the globe. The highest policy making of body of the bank is Board of Governors consisting of one representative from each member country. जो भी Board of Governors है उसमें क्या एक member from each country रहते हैं. The Board of Governors elect among themselves the 12 members Board of Directors. गवर्नर्स में ही वो इलेक्ट करते हैं जिसमें वो 12 मेंबर ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स को इलेक्ट करते हैं. आउट ऑफ 12 8 ऑफ 12 मेंबर्स आर फ्रॉम एशिया पैसिफिक. 8 जो है वो एशिया पैसिफिक से होगी and other will come from the non-regional members. Now the board of governors also elects the bank's president who is the chairperson of board of directors and it also manages the Asian Development Bank. The various function of Asian Development Bank is to provide loans and equity investments in developing member countries, provides technical assistance for planning and execution of development projects, programs for advisory services, promotes and facilitates investment for public and provide capital for development and assist in coordinating development policies and plans for the developing member countries. So these are the various functions of Asian Development Bank. Next, we have the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, that is DICGC. It was introduced, the Bill of Deposit Insurance Corporation was introduced in Parliament in August 21, 1961. And after this bill was passed to the President and the Deposit Insurance Act 1961 came into force on January 1st, 1962. 1961 में उसका बिल पास किया गया और वो एक्ट जो था वो 1961 में आया और जब एक्शन में आया वो January 1, 1962. The deposit insurance scheme was initially extended as a functioning of commercial banks only. Since 1968, the enactment of Deposit Insurance Corporation Amendment Act, the corporation was required to register eligible cooperative banks as insured banks under the provision of Section 13A of the Act. पहले तो वो before it was functioning only for the commercial banks, and later it was acted as the eligible cooperative banks. Further, Government of India in consultation with RBI introduced credit guarantee scheme in July 1960, and RBI was entrusted with the administration of this scheme as the agent of central government and designated as credit guarantee organization for guaranteeing the advances granted by the banks and other credit institutions to small scale industry. The Reserve Bank of India operated this scheme up to March 31st, 1981. Up to this scheme was till March 31st, 1981, and RBI also promoted public limited company on January 14, 1971, named as Credit Guarantee Corporation of India, that is CGCI, which aimed in encouraging commercial banks to cater to the credit needs of neglected sector, particularly the weaker sections of the society. Now, with the view of integrating the functions of deposit insurance and credit guarantee, the two organizations, that is DIC and CGIC, were merged to, and the present Deposit Insurance Credit Guarantee Corporation came into existence on July 15, 1978. The existing DIC and CGCI, they were merged to form the DIC-GC. Now, consequently, Deposit Insurance Act 1961 was changed to Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation Act 1961. Effective from April 1, 1981, the corporation extended its guarantee support to credit granted to small-scale industry after cancellation of Government of India's Credit Guarantee Scheme. वो फिर भी आफ्टर कैंसिलेशन ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया क्रेडिट गारंटी स्कीम, वो फिर भी जो भी स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए लोन प्रोवाइड करते थे उनके लिए वो गारंटी सपोर्ट रहता था. The objective of DIC was to contribute the stability and public confidence in banking system through provision of deposit insurance and credit guarantee to small depositors and borrowers. जो भी पब्लिक का कॉन्फिडेंस बैंकिंग सिस्टम के लिए बनाए रखने के लिए उन्होंने डिपॉजिट इंश्योरेंस और क्रेडिट गारंटी की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ली थी DIC